So here we are on Saturday, July the 12th, and I've decided to go ahead and make another one of these iMovies where I don't stop and splice because I'm having so much trouble learning how to do the other. And Greg wrote me and told me the movies weren't so bad. So as you can see, we're right on the street of the house, and what we've done this year is mainly plant the street with dahlias and some other support flowers, but the dahlias are just going to be gorgeous. Here's some buds that haven't quite come yet. Here's some flowers that have been here for a while. I may have seen them before. In the background are those gorgeous yellow daylilies. Here is 4 dahlias blooming all at the same time. The height of the dahlia bush is, just to give you a proportion, is about 8 inches taller than me. This is a yellow dahlia. I've never had it bloom much like this before, but it's getting so much sun out here that it's just doing well. And we've got lots more coming. The white you see on some of the dahlia leaves are diatomaceous earth, which we put out to try to control the slugs. So you can see we've got these big buds coming. Here is a red, almost as a black dahlia. But every one of these has just got tons of buds. And here's a little one down in here that's still awfully pretty. And here is what has always been one of my champions. This red dahlia here, maroon, that is just beginning to open up and has more buds in back of it. In back of these we have some orange daylilies. The daylilies are also in full season. And we have a bronze seasonal hibiscus. All of these plants you see on the ground, a lot of them are seasonal hibiscus that I raised from seed from last year, and we'll have to see what they turn out to be. Here's one more dahlia down here on the street. Turn this guy so you can see it. I guess you can now. And then these flowers that are pink and white are all cleome. I'm trying careful not to grow the tall cleome, but the knee-high size cleome. This is, as you might know, Shasta daisy, and this is coreopsis. We imported a whole bunch of plants from a grower in Oregon, Canby, Oregon. Ever go near Canby, Oregon, make sure you go see it. Only town in Oregon with bilingual street signs. And here's some other coreopsis. And one of the things about coreopsis that people don't like is you really need to deadhead them. So, and all these are yellow cosmos that are just coming. This is a large seasonal dahlia, hibiscus, that'll have one of these ones that has like 12-inch blossoms. A little early season, I'll remember the name. Here's one of my favorite dahlias, a dahlia that's been blooming for a while. It's a pale yellow daylily, and a daylily, as I've explained to a couple of people, means just that. It blooms for a day. But as you can see, like this one will bloom for a day, but there's 5 more buds on it. And this is a white echinacea. White echinacea are hard to do because they mutate back to their original purple after a while. But these echinacea are doing just fine this year. This is what a day-old daylily looks like. And the kid gets in and snaps them off and keeps them clean. drop some on the ground. Here are echinacea, both white and pink. And this is a one of two, see if I can get it turned enough or turn my body enough to get it. This is a lily, just utterly fragrant lily. And there's another lily back in here that perhaps has had better days, but huge stamen. As you can see from here, all the rain and all we had is creating tremendous mildew and bug problems. But as I say, the daylilies are coming out in force, and particularly the yellow daylilies. Our purple Jackmanii clematis has just about had it. And this is a Shasta daisy that was again imported from this guy in Oregon, which is supposed to have kind of a frilly finish, but doesn't look like it's doing much at this time. This is the rest of the garden in the front of the house. In the back, we have a blue lace hydrangea next to a white cap hydrangea. This is looking out toward the street. And all the rhododendrons, of course, are finished. This is a stoichio that I picked up the other day, much because it was one of the flowers Dad used to raise in New Orleans quite a bit. These are all hostas. This is my miniature hosta collection, some of which are blooming. And this looks toward the back of the yard with the kitchen on the left. So I'm going to keep walking around. Again, I can't stop. I know we're up to 7 minutes. To this little garden we've created by the front door with, again, really gorgeous yellow daylilies, a unique bush which will become very big called a 9-bark, and the end of some geraniums that are really kind of neat, and some shoot, I'll come up with them. They're such a common flower. I'll get it. Give me a word, a minute. More lace cap, and this is, as you might not believe it, a dawn redwood. This is only 3 years old, and as you can see, it's about 20 feet tall, and eventually, of course, it will grow to somewhere around 100 feet tall, and probably dominate everything up front, but I won't be around then. So now we're going back to the back down the driveway. This is whatever it is, I can't think of the name of it, which has come to me that so common I can't think of the name of them. With I like the blue lace hydrangea. This is our Anna Louise clematis, which somehow hasn't bloomed this year. So here you see the 9-bark and the daylilies up there, backed by our snowball hydrangeas, which have started to turn from pure white to green. They go to the green, and then you can cut them if you want to dry them. So if we cross the other side of the driveway, the first thing we see is the white balloon plants. These also have to be deadheaded to keep them going. The name comes from the fact that the plant looks like a balloon before it explodes and becomes a flower. Next to a really nice purple echinacea, and behind is the red monarda. I'm doing really well with the names without C's here. And more pink monarda as I walk back. Here's a white lemon-colored echinacea. Walk back in the garden. Here's Cecil's statue with the monarda in back of it. And here are a crop of daylilies, some maroon, deep red, and some yellow. Again, I've had to put a lot of diatomaceous earth. Look at the size of this echinacea, if I can get it away from its bud. And then here, as we walk out, we see the blue balloon flower, which is really beautiful. Last we had some work done at the house. They cleaned the windows in the truck, leaving rolled over the balloon flowers, and I cut them and brought them inside, and they've all bloomed in the house, which has kind of been nice. So now we're walking down the driveway, these large ferns which we dug out of the woods and moved. And this is our newest addition. This is a Prairie Sun Glorioso daisy. There's 1, 2, 3 of those, and in between it is a plant called sneezeweed, which is really, that's one of them, and the other one is much more orange. Just great colors. So my idea was to try to mix some yellow and orange here back by the fern to kind of get away from this solid green. This is a daisy that will completely be yellow, and this is a plant that becomes an orchid-like blossom early in the fall. Now, most of my day the last week has been spent digging up a neighbor's garden who wants to dig it up and start all over again, and most of what I got were yellow daylilies, as you can see. So each day I'd go get a wagon load, and then the next morning get up at 5 o'clock and bag the load from the night before. This is our heuchera bed, which is in the moment of reconstruction. We've taken a lot of heuchera out of here, divided them to have them for sale next year. Here is a clematis that is growing up the window here, and another clematis that is just about to bloom right in here with blue flowers at the top. And this is our poor, sick Harry Lauder, which I have to cut back. And I've actually waited for this filming to cut it back, because it's going to look like shit, baby, when I finish cutting off all the dead wood. Interestingly enough, because I'll show you another one later, this heuchera back here is called Mardi Gras, French Quarter rather. It's called French Quarter. These are some of the new heuchera we had from this year, and this is that red plant we don't. And here is our first large black castor bean. I moved all the castor beans to the back this year because of the fact that, of course, from castor beans comes raisin, which people are popularly mailing to politicians. So I thought in the backyard at least it'd be in private property. This bed is all coleus, different kinds of coleus, and this is a seasonal hydrangea. The leaves are really kind of neat and great just for themselves. This is our Jacob's coat, which you may have seen before, and this is a heuchera bed of heuchera that didn't sell at the garden sales, so we're developing them together with some yellow back there. And this is a sunflower that my friend got the seeds from a commercial grower. He could never get to grow, but we've been able to get him to grow a little bit. Looks like they get eaten. In the back, these are the cherry tomatoes. Here's our nice pot here, and these are, step back a little, the Brandywine tomatoes, which get to be just huge, and which I'm using a new support system of string and bias tape. Here's another one of our pots. This is just regular old tomatoes. And this little one here is a Jacob's coat that happens to be planted in a planter which was made to model 2032. So then we go to the back, and you can see all the plants we've got that are set aside next year for the garden sale. And this is our zinnia and sunflower bed. The big sunflowers in the back. There's some middle ones and the little ones in the middle. You may have seen them for sale in places like Whole Foods. And then the zinnias are in the front with castor bean plants in the back. In back of that is our Astilbe, not Astilbe, but our Abutilon collection, which I call our Abutilon woods in the summer. I put a lot of them in the ground, some of them in front in pots, and the biggest question will be what we're going to do with them when you have to bring them inside and we're in New Orleans, but we'll solve that problem. This is another bed of plants that are being developed for a garden sale. This happens to be a etrog tree that I'm growing from seeds for the rabbi. I've told her in her lifetime she won't get an etrog from it, but we're still going at it. And these are hydrangeas and newly divided heuchera. You can see the backs of the leaves are great purple. And this is one of our primary Helleborus fields. We've got probably 4 areas where we grow Helleborus. And back here is our oak leaf hydrangeas, which have pretty well had it for the season. They're starting to go away. They're a lot more whiter in the past. So this is looking back into the yard, into the garden, in the yard, with our statue way in the back. You can see the path here with hostas and I'll come up with it. Starts with an E. That bloom. All of this stuff is blooming in the spring. So sorry, 17 minutes. Shit, man. I don't know. We'll be all asleep. So that really well. We're walking now back to the front. Obviously, here's Cecil's garden bed, in which we go and pick and make hamburgers and pasta sauce and everything with every kind of spice in the world. This is a bunch of potted plants that will all come along. And then over here is the bed by the house, by the garage. This is the kind of the end of the red Astilbe with lots of small daylilies starting to bloom. This daylily here is supposed to be a blueberry color, and this one back here is called the Mardi Gras daylily, with some Astilbe in the background, and a rather large orange-colored daylily. And all of these white things you see are rooting tubs as we look back over what we call the meadow. And again, here are the daylilies in pots from the garden. Here is the yellow and red flowers. I wanted you to see there's a black butterfly in here. I don't know if I can get it or not. It's on an echinacea. Maybe if it moves right now, it's just a steady beast. It's really beautiful. It's fluttering around. Just gorgeous. I wish it would stop. Whoop, it went off. And then this is a hydrangea that we bought in Virginia on a trip, and always had trouble with it growing, but we figured out how to had to make a U-turn, how to